What if everything you thought you knew about beauty, progress and survival was completely backwards? Imagine a place where dolphins are business partners, where sand becomes medicine, and where divorce makes you more desirable. Picture a nation where a single train stretches nearly 2 miles long, racing across endless dunes carrying the country's entire economic future. Can you believe there's a country where leaving your faith could cost you everything, yet divorced women are the most sought-after brides? Welcome to Mauritania, a land of contradictions that will shatter every assumption you hold. This is a country where 350 ghost ships rust under the Atlantic sun, where ancient manuscripts survive, in cities being swallowed by desert sands, and where women endure unimaginable rituals in the name of beauty. Are you ready to discover 15 mind-bending realities from one of Earth's most misunderstood nations? Buckle up, because nothing here follows the rules you know. Number 15. Beauty standards that defy the world. In Mauritania, conventional beauty standards are turned completely upside down. Here, men exclusively seek out and marry women with substantial body weight, and we're not talking about gentle curves. The cultural preference is simple darjajan. Sumbanendain aunen. Sundanen frandrabar natsijain batanum. This extraordinary tradition stems from historical periods of food scarcity, when only affluent families could afford to keep women well-nourished without requiring them to work. The result is a practice that leaves outsiders utterly bewildered. Young girls are frequently sent to specialized fattening camps deep in the desert, where they're required to consume up to 15,000 calories daily. That's 7 times the recommended intake for the average American woman. The daily menu consists of bread drenched in olive oil, fatty goat meat, mountains of couscous, sweet fruits, and liters upon liters of camel's milk. The faster the weight gain, the brighter the marriage prospects. When American journalist Thomas Morton attempted this regimen for an HBO documentary, he lasted only 2 days before describing the sensation as having his stomach packed with stones. Breathing became labored, and every movement felt torturous. Yet for countless Mauritanian girls, this represents their only pathway to being perceived as beautiful and valuable in the eyes of men. Those who resist face family rejection or are even forcibly fed. A lesser-known detail, in rural communities, men actually parade their wives at festivals, openly comparing waistlines and weights as demonstrations of status and wealth. Urban areas are gradually seeing shifts due to international media influence, but change crawls forward at a glacial pace. Medical professionals warn that this obesity epidemic is driving alarming rates of heart disease and diabetes among Mauritanian women. Indiana University professor Paula Brastine suggests that transforming the fat is beautiful mindset could require several decades. What's your take on these beauty standards? Share your perspective in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Number 14. The world's most haunting ship graveyard. Few people realize that the Nouadhibou ship graveyard once earned the grim reputation as West Africa's maritime black hole. According to environmental researchers, over 350 shipwrecks of every conceivable size now bake under the relentless sun, their rusting hulls scattered across more than 3 miles of coastline. From massive cargo vessels and industrial fishing boats to weathered tugboats, these abandoned giants have all been left to decay after decades of punishment from sea and sandstorms. This crisis originated in the 1980s and 1990s, when Mauritania's government lacked the financial resources to properly dismantle or manage aging vessels. International shipowners swiftly exploited legal loopholes, paying token fees to permanently anchor their ships here, transforming the entire coastline into a colossal steel wasteland. Some of these vessels once crossed the Atlantic, conducted industrial fishing operations for European markets, or even served military purposes. Now they're nothing more than corroded skeletons slowly disintegrating into the ocean. Beyond the visual blight lies a severe environmental threat. Engine oil, wood preservatives, and lead-based paints continuously leak into the sea, endangering the delicate ecosystem of Banc d'Arguin National Park, a critical breeding ground for millions of migratory birds. International organizations have funded cleanup initiatives, but dismantling each ship can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, making progress painfully slow. Paradoxically, this ship graveyard has evolved into an unexpected tourist attraction. Photographers compare the landscape to a maritime Mad Max apocalypse. Some adventure tour operators in Mauritania actually bring visitors here At sunset, when the crimson light transforms each wreck into a towering black silhouette against the Atlantic horizon. Number 13. When humans and dolphins become business partners. Amid the turquoise waves off Banc d'Arguin, you'll witness something that seems pulled from fantasy: humans and wild dolphins operating as coordinated partners. Here, fishermen don't simply cast their nets and hope for the best. They actively summon dolphins by tapping on their boats or using traditional vocal calls. Within moments, bottlenose dolphins appear, swimming in coordinated formations to herd fish toward the shoreline where nets await. Once the fish are trapped, the fishermen haul in their catch while the dolphins feast on the fish they helped corral. What's truly remarkable? This partnership is entirely voluntary. The dolphins receive no training and live completely wild. They simply choose to work exclusively with certain villages, as though bound by an unwritten contract spanning centuries. UNESCO has recognized this fishing method as intangible cultural heritage due to its sustainability and respect for nature. In places like Florida, wild dolphins are deliberately kept away from tourists to preserve their natural behaviors. But in Mauritania, people and dolphins maintain a strategic alliance that's proven nearly unbreakable. Some families in Banc d'Arguin claim their dolphin partners have collaborated with them across 3 generations. Can you believe a wild animal as intelligent as a dolphin can cooperate so seamlessly with humans without any leashes or formal training? If given the opportunity, would you board a boat and call out to dolphins to assist your fishing expedition? Number 12. Where divorce opens doors instead of closing them. In Mauritania, particularly among the Moorish community, divorce doesn't signal the end of romantic prospects. It actually functions like a VIP pass into an exclusive marriage marketplace. This isn't a physical market with stalls, but rather an extensive matchmaking network involving relatives, friends, neighbors, and community celebrations that often extend past midnight. When a divorced woman returns to her family, there's no pity or blame whatsoever. Instead, her relatives immediately relaunch her social profile. She receives a complete makeover, dons a brilliant silk malfa, nearly 10 feet long, adorns herself with sparkling gold and silver jewelry, and is escorted to social gatherings staged like major events. These marriage markets might unfold in courtyards, large tents, or even actual marketplaces where women gather in groups, chatting and laughing while men circulate, searching for suitable candidates. On particularly active days, dozens of divorced women attend, and professional matchmakers can arrange dozens of introductory meetings within a single afternoon. What truly astonishes outsiders is that many unmarried men actually prefer marrying divorced women over those who've never been married. In their view, a woman who's been married has passed the ultimate real-world test. She understands household management, cooks expertly, displays emotional maturity, knows how to navigate relationships with men, and is prepared to build a stable home. One trader in Nouakchott once explained, marrying someone who's been married is like purchasing a test-driven car. You already know how it performs. While this comparison might sound offensive in Western contexts, here it's considered a genuine compliment. In reality, some women have married and divorced 5, 7, or even 10 times, and with each remarriage, they become increasingly desirable. When a marriage agreement is reached, it can happen faster than purchasing a camel at the Nouakchott market. Number 11. The Iron Monster. That never stops. Think long-distance trains in America like Amtrak are impressive. Let me introduce you to Mauritania's Iron Monster, one of the longest and most punishing trains on the planet. The Mauritania Iron Ore Train stretches between 1.5 to 1.9 miles, comprising over 200 cars weighing 20,000 tons, running 437 miles from the Zouera iron mine deep in the Sahara to the Atlantic port of Nouadhibou. This isn't merely an engineering marvel, it's the country's economic lifeline, since iron ore accounts for the majority of Mauritania's exports. What makes this train truly legendary isn't just its extraordinary length, but the experience of actually riding atop the ore cars. Many adventure-seeking travelers skip the passenger car, costing around $15, to climb directly onto the ore wagons for what they call a VIP seat in the heart of the desert. Picture this: 20 hours traversing the Sahara with no seat, no roof, no bathroom, just relentless wind, sand, and iron dust coating your face, with temperatures swinging from 100 degrees during the day to 50 degrees at night. Travel bloggers Drew Binsky and Juan Torres have dubbed it the most dangerous train in the world, not only for the brutal conditions, but also for its complete unpredictability. The train can arrive anytime, between 11 in the morning and 7 in the evening. If you're an American traveler considering this journey, bring goggles, a protective scarf, gloves, at least 5 liters of water, and sufficient food for a full day. Make sure to select a car near towns where the train stops so you can replenish supplies. This isn't an adventure for the faint-hearted, but you'll return home with Sahara photographs that will leave everyone speechless. Number 10. A Sufi sanctuary that breaks all the rules. In the harsh Saharan landscape of Mauritania, where strict Sharia law governs nearly every dimension of life, there exists a remarkable exception. Malam El-Wan, founded in 1975 by Sheikh Mohammed Saleh Ul Muhammad Lamin. This small Sufi community isn't just a green oasis in an ocean of sand, it's also a social sanctuary where men and women work side by side, something virtually unheard of throughout most of the country. Here, women carry water, cultivate vegetables, harvest dates, tend camels, and conduct trade alongside men without segregation or stringent supervision. Unlike many neighboring regions where even unrelated men and women dining together publicly is considered inappropriate, Malam El-Wan treats collaborative labor as perfectly normal. This distinction flows from Sufi philosophy, which emphasizes brotherhood, tolerance, and cooperation. The community practices sustainable agriculture, drip irrigation, organic farming, and solar energy utilization, making them entirely self-sufficient and capable of supplying passing caravans. As of 2004, there were approximately 110 residents, 60 engaged in mixed farming operations, 34 focused on crop production, and 3 dedicated to livestock management. Number 9. Internet so expensive it might as well be gold. If you think $70 monthly for internet in the United States seems steep, wait until you experience Mauritania. Here, telecommunications infrastructure is as sparse as a spider's web in the desert. Fiber optic cables and cell towers are few and far between, coverage remains patchy, and market competition is virtually non-existent. The consequence? Mobile data prices were once among West Africa's highest, sometimes reaching $10 for just 1 gigabyte, with average speeds hovering around 3 to 5 megabits per second in Nouakchott, and honestly, significantly slower in rural territories. The digital divide becomes even more pronounced outside urban centers. In numerous desert villages, cellular service is unreliable, and internet outages occur as frequently as power failures, making online education, e-commerce, or content creation nearly impossible. This represents a massive barrier to digital literacy and the creative economy, particularly for young people. If you're an American accustomed to complimentary Wi-Fi at coffee shops, prepare yourself. In Mauritania, internet access isn't just expensive, it's as rare as snowfall in Nevada. The best strategy is purchasing a 4G SIM card at the airport, using it sparingly, and downloading offline maps and essential documents before departing major cities. Once you're lost in the desert en route to Banque d'Arguin or Chinguetti, the only signal you might receive is the sound of wind whistling through a nomad's tent. Number 8. West Africa's largest camel bazaar. If you assume markets only sold vegetables, meat, or clothing, Nouakchott, Mauritania's capital, will completely transform your perspective with West Africa's largest camel market. Located on the city's outskirts, the market sprawls like an enormous gathering place in the desert, with hundreds of camels grouped together in organized sections. Here you'll discover every conceivable variety of 4-legged merchandise baby camels just months old, selling for $30 to $500, all the way up to elite racing camels with sleek aerodynamic bodies commanding prices around $20,000. Roughly equivalent to a new car in the United States. Experienced traders meticulously examine every detail, gait, fur quality, teeth condition, and even the animal's reflexes to determine appropriate pricing. But this market isn't exclusively about purchasing camels. You can buy fresh camel's milk directly on site, milked straight from the animal. This liquid gold is believed by Mauritanians to be a miracle beverage, boosting endurance, improving digestion, helping manage diabetes, and even enhancing male vitality. The atmosphere is simultaneously chaotic and mesmerizing. Bargaining negotiations echo everywhere. The combined scent of sand, camel sweat, and fresh milk permeates the air. Men draped in deep blue boubous and traditional headscarves stand alongside traders from Mali, Senegal, and Morocco, all contributing to this vibrant living tableau of commerce. Number 7. Ancient knowledge buried in desert sands. Amid the endless sands of the Sahara, where one might expect only scorching winds and dust particles, lies an unexpected treasure. The ancient city of Chinguetti, home to over 6,000 rare books and manuscripts, some dating back to the 9th century. In tiny, dimly lit rooms you'll find ancient Qurans, medical treatises, legal documents, astronomy notes and poetry collections, all inscribed on paper or leather and bound in exquisitely crafted covers. During its golden age, the city earned the title City of Libraries, where scholars, lawyers, physicians, and poets from across Africa and Europe converged to exchange knowledge. The legendary explorer Ibn Battuta visited here before continuing his journey to China. Historical records indicate there were days when 10,000 camel caravans simultaneously arrived and departed from the city. Today, Chinguetti stands silent. Desertification and the passage of time have erased its bustling past. The population has dwindled to just a few hundred souls. Librarians, often descendants of families who've protected these books for generations, patiently safeguard each volume, shielding them from sand and wind using cloth and wooden covers. Visitors must wear gloves and may only examine books under careful supervision. Number 6. Desert therapy. That sounds like madness. In the scorching heat of the Mauritanian Sahara, there's a healing practice that initially sounds absurd: sandbathing. But here, bathing doesn't involve water immersion. It means burying your entire body in sand, hotter than 140 degrees Fahrenheit beneath the blazing sun. Locals firmly believe that lying in the sand for 20 to 30 minutes makes you sweat from your bones, detoxifying your system, relieving arthritis, alleviating muscle pain, and even improving blood circulation. This therapy typically occurs at midday during summer months, when external temperatures can reach 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Before bathing, participants are instructed to hydrate extensively and wear lightweight clothing. Then they lie down in a freshly excavated sand pit while sand is piled over them from neck to feet. The combined weight and heat accelerate heartbeat and induce profuse sweating like a natural sauna. Mauritanians view this as traditional medicine dating back to nomadic lifestyles when hospitals were non-existent. Some areas near Attar and Chinguetti have even developed sand spas, catering to adventurous tourists. However, medical professionals warn of serious risks including heat stroke, dehydration, and burns, especially for those unaccustomed to desert conditions. Number 5. The eye that watches from space. In the vast wilderness of the Sahara, about 20 miles from Attar, there's a natural phenomenon that, honestly, even astronauts find absolutely mesmerizing: the Rishat structure, which is more commonly known as the Eye of the Sahara. From ground level, you'll only see these wavy rock ridges, nothing too out of the ordinary. But, if you look from an aircraft or satellite, a gigantic eye nearly 31 miles wide appears, like some mysterious symbol carved deep into the desert floor. At first, scientists thought it might be a volcanic crater or maybe even a meteor impact site, simply because of its perfect circular shape. But after decades of research, the explanation turned out to be far more fascinating. It's actually a symmetrical uplift of Earth's crust, eroded by wind and sand over millions of years, and that's revealed these concentric rings of sedimentary, volcanic, and quartz rock formations. Each ring, by the way, displays its own distinct colors and textures, as though someone decided to carve a massive artwork right into the planet's surface. Interestingly, the eye only gained worldwide fame in recent decades when satellite imagery and, yes, Google Earth brought it to everyone's attention. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station have captured hundreds of photographs of Rishat, since it's one of the easiest natural landmarks to spot when flying over the Sahara. And, naturally, conspiracy theorists haven't missed it. Some folks even claim it's the lost location of Atlantis. Number 4. The nation where alcohol doesn't exist. Don't even fantasize about finding a cold beer or an elegant glass of red wine in Mauritania. Alcohol is absolutely prohibited under Islamic law. The country enforces rigorous Sharia principles, which means not only locals, but tourists have to comply as well. Try to bring a bottle across the border, and customs officials will confiscate it straight away. If you violate the rules, you could face substantial fines or even imprisonment. Unlike Morocco or Tunisia, where tourists might still find bars, Mauritania has no public drinking establishments or legal liquor retailers whatsoever. Some international hotels in Nouakchott once managed to get permits to serve alcohol to foreign guests, but these permissions are extremely rare and often get revoked under political or religious pressure. Still, reality proves to be a bit more complex. Despite the prohibition, A small group of locals and expatriates still manage to drink, usually by smuggling supplies from Senegal or Morocco. Bootleg alcohol is discreetly sold at underground gatherings for the wealthy or secretly served at select private clubs, but only for regular patrons. Black market prices can run 5 to 10 times higher than European rates. In this dry culture, alternative ritual drinks take center stage: thick, intensely sweet mint tea, always consumed in 3 rounds to show respect, or fresh camel's milk, both of which are refreshing and nutritious, especially welcome in 110-degree desert heat. Number 3. A paradise for wings in the desert. Believe it or not, hidden within Mauritania's arid desert is one of the world's premier birdwatching paradises, Banque d'Arguin National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site along the Atlantic coastline. Spanning over 4,800 square miles, it serves as a crucial stopover for millions of migratory birds traveling the West African flyway. Functioning almost like a massive international airport for birds, the park's extensive mudflats, sand dunes, towering over 100 feet high, and salty plains create a natural buffet for migrating species. Every winter, more than 2 million birds arrive. You'll spot giant flamingos reflected on the water's surface, African white pelicans with 11-foot wingspans gliding like aircraft, and countless ringed plovers, royal terns, and black-faced spoonbills foraging for food. The ecosystem here is so remarkably rich, it provides everything birds need: food, rest, and secure shelter during their 3,000-mile journey from Europe to Africa. It's not just a magnet for scientists, it's also a dream destination for nature photographers. If you're an American visiting for the first time, you should definitely prepare yourself. This region is extremely wild, with virtually no luxury accommodations or fancy restaurants. Instead, you'll sleep in tents, dine on fresh fish caught by Imragan fishermen, and wake up to the sound of thousands of wings beating in unison. Number 2. Currency that defies math. Did you know Mauritania is one of only 2 countries worldwide still using a non-decimal currency? Their ouguiya isn't divided into 100 cents like the US dollar but rather into 5 koums. Sounds intriguing, but for foreigners, especially Americans accustomed to decimal systems, it's a genuine labyrinth. Imagine visiting a Nouakchott market, purchasing a glass of mint tea for 7 koums, and the vendor returns a pack of candy as change. Here, the koum coin has virtually disappeared from daily transactions because it's so minimal it can't even purchase a piece of gum. Yet on paper, it still exists, making Mauritania a living museum of currency systems. Another fascinating detail: in Mauritania, cash reigns supreme. Card payments are virtually unknown outside upscale hotels, and ATMs are as scarce as snow in the Sahara. If you bring US dollars here, you'll need to exchange them for cash at banks or money changers. Even taxi drivers won't accept dollars. And remember, exchange rates can vary by location, so a currency converter app will save you from mental arithmetic gymnastics at the marketplace. Number 1. When faith becomes law. Did you know that in Mauritania, religion isn't merely a personal belief, it's the very heartbeat of society? In this desert nation 1.3 times the size of Texas, nearly 100% of the population identifies as Muslim, predominantly Sunni, following the Maliki school, one of the most conservative interpretations in the Islamic world. This means law and daily life are inseparably intertwined with Sharia principles. Officially, abandoning Islam is considered a grave offense. Violators receive 3 days to reconsider and return to the faith. In practical daily life, however, people rarely discuss this subject openly. Instead, there's profound pride in a centuries-old religious identity. Interestingly, while many other Muslim-majority countries like Indonesia or Morocco adopt more flexible approaches, where women can choose whether to wear headscarves, in Mauritania, the image of women wrapped in a malafa, a 9 to 10-foot cloth, is nearly universal, even in 110 degrees Fahrenheit heat. Men, particularly among the Moors tribes, proudly wear expansive sky-blue bubu and long headscarves for protection against sandstorms. You've just completed a journey through a Mauritania unlike anywhere else on Earth. Which revelation shocked you most? The divorce marketplace, sandbathing, or the total alcohol prohibition? Would you dare climb aboard an ore train or sample a glass of camel's milk directly from the market? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation. If you found this fascinating, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you won't miss our next extraordinary adventure. Thanks for exploring with us.